welcome everyone. My name is Jenny Fall and I am the Director of Driver Engagement here at Women in Trucking Association. And today we are going to share some information on how you can best network and connect with other members in your community. Today we wanted to share with you some of the ways that you can engage and utilize the tools and the resources that we have available to make those connections really easy and seamless. I also wanted to introduce my colleague, Alyssa.
Hi, everybody. Excited to be here.
Hi, Alyssa. And today we are going to get started. All right. So again, like I said, we are talking about building relationships that move your career forward. Between the two of us, we're going to share a lot of ways that you can interact, network, get that peer support, all the ways that you can as a member, sign in and enjoy what we have to offer as a member.
So first, before we get into our agenda here, joining us on social media, please comment, tell us where you're joining from, let us know if you have questions throughout the presentation. We'd be glad to connect with you guys and answer your questions during the presentation or follow up after. As Jenny said, she's the Director of Driver Engagement. I am the Director of Membership at Women in Trucking, and we're really excited to have this new engagement webinar series this year. We had a webinar in January that went over kind of the benefits of women in trucking and the best ways to get engaged. In February, we were really excited to have a researcher from Virginia Tech join us. And she talked about some of the research she just related to trucking. And in March, we had our fantastic connections mixer. So we're excited this time to go more in depth with mentorship. And by the way, join us next month. We're going to have a fantastic conversation about the history of trucking and keeping track of your stories. And we're going to talk to John from the American Historical Truck Society. So watch for that announcement soon. But today, we're specifically going to talk about 4 things. We're going to talk about the power of mentorship. We're going to talk about WIT Connections and our Engage platform. And we're going to talk about networking groups and events. And of course, what can you do and how can you be involved? So really excited to walk you guys through so you can take advantage of the WIT community and move your careers forward.
Yes, very excited. I know I'm very excited about the conversation we're going to have with John next month on the webinar. We met him at the Mid-America Truck Show a couple of weeks ago, if any of you were there, and he just has fantastic stories, and we're very excited to hear a little bit more about what his program does and how he connects with the trucking community. So like Alyssa mentioned, we are going to talk about the power of networking and mentorship. Really, the networking piece of what we offer to our members is some guided growth. Really create that built-in confidence and make really lasting connections. There are so many ways that we've really enhanced over the last, I want to say year and a half, where we've created some real intentional space where our members can connect, learn from each other, make those peer relationships, and actually grow their own businesses in the process. So I think we've seen some real success from the groups that we've been able to follow and connect with ourselves. And for an example, we wanted to throw this picture out here. This is really mentorship in action. These are real stories. This photo here was from the Accelerate conference last November. And about a year ago, we started something called networking groups, where members decided, hey, I want to connect with other members that have the same interests that I do, that I can learn from. So we started these networking groups, and right now, I believe there's 8 or 9 networking groups. And this group of women in this picture are all part of these networking groups. They've met virtually, I would say probably at this time, maybe 6, 7 times, a handful of them, and they had never met in person. So we created this panel session at Accelerate, just a space for about an hour where all of these ladies could come meet each other in person. And this was the final photo. It was such a fun session. I know Alyssa and I both attended, and it was just so cool to watch these connections happen in real time. Some of the ladies even put together, they made handmade name tags that were very blinged out and shared them with the entire group. See, there's Alyssa's rolling sass. We each had to find our trucker name.
I keep mine with me at all times because it was such a powerful experience, right?
Yes, it was just so cool to watch those connections happen in real time. And we watched it virtually, but to see those relationships. And then as we were going through Accelerate throughout that entire week, of the conference, these ladies were together. We'd see different pockets of them, and they were switching off with each other and just really enjoying, I think, the connection that they were able to make online through the WIT Connections networking groups.
Yeah, Jenny, yeah, I agree. And it's been really fun to see. I see Jennifer Hensley is on. She leads one of our networking groups.
Yes.
But it's really fun to see the connections and real difference these groups are making in our members' lives, right? So I see two of our leaders in the picture here, Jennifer and Chris, and they didn't know each other before networking groups, but now they're like besties, and they spent the conference together, right? So it also helps you not feel, a lot of us go to these events or go to conferences. We're the only one from our companies that go. You don't know who you're going to connect with, and it really helps you have an in-person connection. And we also saw this recently, Jenny, when we were, one of our members posted to our Engage platform, which we're going to talk about in a second, but saying, hey, I'm going to the TMC conference. I don't know anybody who's going. And what ended up happening is our members connected, they scheduled a time, they had coffee together, and then they hung out during the week. So they were able to go through the conference with confidence, knowing somebody and having, right? Everybody needs that touch point of, I just went to a great session and I want to talk about it. Let's talk. So it really made them feel connected. So not only with the networking groups, but just using that WIT community as your home base for things like this, because our community is going to every event and they're at every conference. They're experiencing the same WIT podcasts and news that you are. It's a great way to get somebody else to talk to.
Agreed. I think those connections in person, and like you said, that's what we have in common. We're all in trucking, so we all, you can't go home sometimes if your spouse or your friends aren't in trucking and have those real conversations. So it's great to connect with others in real time. And just the real time, it just still astounds me watching it happen. I love it. And
Jennifer is chiming in saying it really is fantastic. So Jenny's going to talk about what Jennifer Hensley does for us here in a minute.
Yes.
So speaking of how you can make those connections, one of the things Women in Trucking has had for a couple of years is our Engage platform. It's a discussion forum. So it's members only. So it has what you'd expect from a discussion forum. It has a place to post questions, to answer questions, to share your expertise. For example, somebody just graduating from CDL school recently posted, hey, I'm not sure, given how gas prices are looking, what do you guys think about being an owner operator versus a company driver, right? How do those, so how do current things impact what you're doing is my point. So people are really asking relevant, timely questions and sharing their expertise on the discussion forum. We also have an AI search capability, which sounds fancy. Really what it means is you can put in a question and it will search our resources for you and help you find the right resource or connect with the right conversation on Engage. Because sometimes you've had a question before, somebody else has already asked it, right? So you can use that search function. The Engage platform also includes member directories. So if you're a member, you can find members by location, by what they do, by company. So you can make those personal networking connections. It also has a corporate directory. And we also list resources. For example, like the webinars we're doing today and the ones, Jenny and I were just talking about, those are available in a member-only webinar library. So you can go there. We also list our white papers and our resource guides for members all on that platform. So it really is, it is our main networking platform, way for you to connect, but it also has all those exclusive member resources for you.
And we also have an app that connects you right to the Engage forum as well. So you can access all of those resources. And, if you're sitting at the airport on your way to that next conference, you can log in and, again, look up members in that area or, all those other resources and tools that might help you as you're traveling as well.
Oh, and Jenny, I know the main thing we are going to talk about is WIT Connections, but I also want to point out we do have discounts for members offered by our corporate members, and those are listed in the Engage platform too. So no matter what you do, what your role is at your company, there are discounts that could help you, because as we know, even saving a little bit of money or getting one new resource can make a big difference.
Absolutely. We have such awesome corporate members that provide those discounts for our members, because I think they also see the importance of making lives easier for all of us in trucking. So that's a good call out for the discounts as well. The other thing you can access on the Engage forum is WIT Connections. Within the last, I want to say year and a half, we actually changed the name to Connections because that's truly what it is. It's a space where peers can connect, mentors and mentees can connect. You will log in and you can go to networking groups. You can sign up as a mentee or a mentor to participate in a one-on-one mentorship relationship. And on that same vein, we are going to be revamping that one-on-one program here in the next couple of months so we can provide some more resources and some more intentional planning for the mentors and mentees in these relationships. So if you've logged in before and you really haven't found value in the one-on-one, stay tuned. We, in the next, I want to say 1 to 2 months, we're going to really revamp that and provide you some more resources to make those relationships a little bit more successful. We also have networking groups that we've been talking about. I have a whole other section where I'll go dig a little deeper into what those actually are. We have an unplugged community where we encourage folks, if they are going to be somewhere in person at a conference, at an expo, at an outside meeting, to post in this unplugged community where folks can then decide how to meet in person while they're at these various events. And we also have quarterly mixers. So the third, typically the third month of the quarter, we have a mentorship mixer or a connections mixer where it is open to everyone. It is a informal call where I invite 2 to 3 members to come on and we introduce them. They share their story, how mentorship or peer connections has impacted their professional lives and their personal lives. And you just get to know members on a different level. We have this as an open call where you can make comments, share your suggestions, give your own feedback on what's worked for you. It's really just another space where we wanted to create a regular place where folks can plan to attend. It's usually at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is virtual on a Zoom platform, and we do the whole Brady Bunch situation. There's no formal presentation, and everyone is invited. That is also available where you can sign up on our webinar page, or you can go to our webpage, womenintrucking.org, and find resources and mentoring and mixers. So you can sign up there as well.
Yeah, I just want to point out, Jenny, the Mentor Mixer is such a fun way for people to connect because we tout it as one of our webinars because it's a virtual experience, but it really is a conversation. So people get to come and last time we had 2 wonderful speakers. It was Rachel and
Carrie Miller.
Rachel and Carrie led it for us in March. I'm sorry. I was seeing her face, but my mind totally went blank. So Carrie, I'm sorry. Carrie and Rachel came on and gave, they had an idea of how they wanted to lead, but it really is interactive. So they talk about a topic, but then you can contribute, you can ask questions, you can share your expertise because sometimes it goes in directions we're not expecting. And we ended up talking about, I think it was on the last one, about how they use AI in their current roles, right? Because that was just a question that was asked and the group really got into it. So it's really fun to see to see you guys connect with each other and have conversations that sometimes it's hard, right? It's hard to know who to ask those questions. So now everybody on that mixer, they all have each other's names and information, and They can all reach out and connect in real time too.
Yes, it's been so fun watching these calls happen. I mean, I think I see Sarah on the list of folks that are watching right now, and I know she's attended a couple of them. So I'm definitely going to include you, Sarah. I'll be reaching out to see if you want to be a featured.
Yeah, Jenny and I get way too excited when we see you guys make connections, and I think by the way, we'll talk about this again in a minute, but if you want to be involved or want to be a speaker or want to help us with one of these engagement webinars, we see you, Sarah, then just let us know, because Jenny and I love to help members make these connections and to feel more fulfilled in their careers by networking and connecting even more.
Absolutely. And the networking groups, I know we've mentioned it a billion times so far, but we're so excited because these have been going for about a year now. And this was something Alyssa and I were just like, let's give it a shot, because people were saying, hey, where can I talk to other people that think like this? Or I think the very first one we had, it was a Midwest group. So we had Chris, I don't know that she's on the call today, but she said, hey, I want to connect with other members in my area. She lives in Minnesota. So we're like, all right, we're going to take you as a test case to see how this looks. So she posted and engaged that, hey, I wanted to start a group for members that live in the Midwest. We're going to meet virtually, and maybe someday we can set up some time where we can meet in person. I don't know that that's happened yet, but she was one of the members at the Accelerate conference that helped do the new name tag. So she's been very engaged. So that's one group. So what we've done is find members. We follow the Engage forum, the things that people are posting, and then we ask, hey, it looks like you've had some traction on your posts because other people are interested in what you are. Would you be interested in leading a group? It's totally member driven. I tend to go to maybe the first call, but then the members set up the calls themselves. They'll set up a Zoom or a Teams or whatever platform works for the group. And then it's typically a monthly call. We have a newer group that's going to meet quarterly because that's what makes sense for her group. So there's no hard and fast rules. We just ask that you set up regular calls, stay connected with your group, and reach out to us if you have any questions. You can find what these current groups are. I'm going to list them for you in case you don't want to go there quite yet. You go to our website, you click on the resources drop down, you click on mentoring, and then networking groups is where you'll find that. There's a good list. There's a leadership book club with Jennifer that was on here earlier. There's a career and professional development focused mentoring networking group, connecting with peers in general. The new one is the HR, the learning and development group, which meets quarterly. Members in the Midwest that I mentioned earlier. There's a new technicians group that's had one call so far, so I have to reach out to them and see how that went. That was just started at the end of March. I believe March 30th was their first call. There's a health and wellness group led by one of our members that is a wellness coach. And there's a brand new group called Breaker 19, you are a co-driver, led by another member named Jen. I will say out of this list, all of the Jennifers have taken control. I think about half of them, half of the leaders' names are Jennifer, or Jenny in some variation. And again, you can find these. You'll go click where I described. You'll see the list and then the picture of the networking leader, and it will say join here. And there's a red button. You'll click that. That will take you to the Engage forum where they originally posted that they'd like to start this group, asking for interest. You'll make a comment, and ideally that networking group leader will reach out to you and add you to their ongoing call list, and you'll join and get to meet a whole lot of new people and share the same interests. So it's been so much fun to watch these really evolve.
It is. And like Jenny said, we just started piloting these at the beginning of 25. We had 4 this year. We've already launched 4 new ones. So we'd like to grow it even more. And I think, Jenny, I'm sorry if you already mentioned this, but we also create a private community for each of the networking groups, right? So there's still that you can post in the main, the Engage Open forum, share and talk, but then the groups can go in their own community and have, discussions based around what they're talking about, finalize their agenda, decide when to meet, and keep that all a private, just so it's between them, not for a privacy reason, right? But just so they can have communications just with their group.
Well, I think it's been important, just talking with the networking group leaders, it's been important to hear what the attendees want to talk about, what makes sense for their current situation. I mean, they believe in the same topic, they want to talk about it, share, have that peer-to-peer discussion. What time works? What platform works the best for you? Is it Teams? Is it Zoom? Is it Google Meet? So they really try to communicate and work with their group to figure out what makes sense for everybody, so that everyone feels welcome and is able to participate at the best level. And that community is a really great place for those questions to happen. So it doesn't, I don't want to say clog up the regular news feed, but it's just particular to that group, like you mentioned, which is a good point.
Yeah, I think also keep in mind, if you're interested in joining a group, there is no pressure to go to every meeting, right? Like, we're all busy. We all have our day jobs. And we understand that you can't make it every time, but that, there's still value in making those connections, even if you can only go to one a quarter. So don't feel like if this isn't something you can attend 100%, you shouldn't be involved. Be involved. You'll still make some really valuable connections, and some new industry friends, right? Which we could all use more of.
Well, and you can join more than one if you feel like you have the time. If you want to be in a leadership book club and you live in the Midwest and you're interested in wellness, join all three of them, and you'll meet new people in each one. And it's just that real networking space where you'll meet other people interested in what you're interested in and doing what you're doing, which is, again, it's been so fun to watch grow.
It is. And Jenny, before we move on, I'm gonna just highlight, we got a comment just now from Ingrid. I just want to highlight Ingrid. She's joining us today. She's our driver of the year. We just announced her a couple weeks ago. So thanks for joining us, Ingrid, and thanks for being supportive of everything we do at Women in Trucking.
Absolutely.
Next, we're going to talk about networking, right? So we've talked about a lot of ways you can network virtually. Our members are all over the world, all over the country. We do have some international, like Jenny mentioned, one of the leaders of our new technicians group is actually in Australia, right? So we do have people all over the place. So virtual connections are a lot easier for most of our schedules. But we do have in-person opportunities. And one of the things we're doing this year is we've introduced WIT on the Road regional events. We actually had our first one in December in Arlington, Virginia with Tyler Technologies. They hosted our first WIT on the Road event. These are intimate regional events. So there's no cost for attendees. And the content varies. So at the Tyler Technology one, we focused on research and networking and mentorship. And we also had an update on the policies. We had a policy update from one of our consultants. But every event is a little bit different. So we're hosting our next one, and I can't even believe it, only about 3 weeks in Birmingham, Alabama. That one is going to be hosted by McLeod Software. And yay, Sarah, I'm glad you're going to be able to join us. And Tracy Rushing, who is our chair of our membership committee, is going to MC that with us. She's with R.E. Garrison. But these events are just a way to connect with the local community, the local trucking community. It's for members, it's for non-members, it's for, I know the Alabama Trucking Association, for example, has some people who are going to join us there. Our member companies are coming, individual members. Ingrid, who we just highlighted, is actually going to be on one of the panels. So it's just a great opportunity to come and meet in an intimate setting. The one in Birmingham is even capped at 75 attendees. So if you talk, these are really small, intimate events. The one in December that we had, it was really fun to see some things that came out of it. For example, R.E. Garrison is now working with somebody else, right, based on conversations they had there. So it's really fun to see connections that are made and to get people working together. It says upcoming because I wasn't sure we were going to be ready, but this week we're going to also announce one, an Old Dominion event on June 17th in North Carolina. We're also working on 2 other ones we're not quite ready to announce, but our goal is to have 4 this year, and we think we're going to make that. So we're really excited to get these going and help people connect locally, because we understand for a lot of people, including Jenny and I, there are so many events we would like to go to, but you have to be in the office, right? The travel budget's only so big. So these regional events that are, 4 or 5 hours are much easier to go to, especially with the no registration fee, right? You can show up, you can network, and you can learn a couple of things. So we're really excited about these. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not mention Accelerate, which is happening at the end of October in Dallas. This is Women in Trucking's flagship event. It was about, 1,500 people, Jenny? Am I right? I think that's
around 15, 17.
Yeah, 1,600 people come, exhibit halls, keynote speakers, presentations, networking. It's a full-on trucking conference. So that is also a great place to connect. When Jenny showed the picture earlier of those networking groups, that was at the Accelerate conference, right? So this is a chance to meet people you've met virtually, meet them in person. That is our big event. And of course, we just had our other big in-person event we just held in March. That is our Salute to Women Behind the Wheel, and that is driver specific. So Gina, I see you there. You were one of our finalists. So we do those two kind of our big in-person events. And then we participate. Jenny, I know you and Jennifer, our CEO, travel more than I do, but we do attend other events and speak at other events throughout the year.
We do. And I will say, just as an aside to the Accelerate conference, this WIT on the Road was really, I think, born out of that excitement that people had from the Accelerate. Say, oh my gosh, I'm so energized and I'm so ready to make change. And then we don't see each other for a whole nother year until the next year. So these WIT on the Roads were kind of born out of that, as well as the networking groups, to create those mini pockets of engagement to keep that energy going. And I will tell you, if you haven't been to Accelerate, it is probably 80% women in trucking. And that is almost unheard of. I know many of us go into rooms in trucking and you're the only one at the table or in the room even. At Accelerate, you are not. There's just so many women in all different roles. And I think that's what brings that energy, and it's so positive, and it's such a great experience to leave from. So hopefully some of these WIT on the Road and the networking groups that have come out of that, maybe keep that passion and that excitement going until we meet again the following year.
Yeah, Jenny, I think that's one of the things you and I have talked about is how do we extend that in-person, the Accelerate feeling? How do we have it all year round? And that's what we're trying to replicate, right? It's impossible to replicate, but we're giving it our best shot.
We're trying. And so far they've been successful.
Yeah.
So with that, those are several ways that you can participate, network, engage, connect with your peers. We do appreciate you taking some time to learn a little bit more about what you can do as a member. So some things that you can do to move forward. If you haven't participated in anything, join Engage. That's the member forum. You'll log into our website, womenintrucking.org. There is a red login button at the top right. Click that and put in your username and password, and you will immerse yourself in Engage. You will typically land on the Engage forum, and then there's some menus at the top that can take you to the various networking and mentorship opportunities, as well as the resources, the AI tool that Alyssa mentioned earlier. Then you'll find your group. You'll want to browse and join a networking group. There is a drop down, I believe it says mentorship. So we have to figure out how to change that. We've changed the name to Connections. So you'll want to find a group if you are interested in joining a networking group. Like I said, you'll find the page. You'll click on a red button that says join the group. You'll be taken to their original post. You'll just make a comment that says, hey, I'm interested. That networking group leader will reach out to you and add you to the community for that particular group, as well as give you some information on when the next call will take place. You can also register for events. You can register for the WIT on the Road events. You can register for the Accelerate conference, the Salute to Women Behind the Wheel, which just took place, so you'll have to wait another year for that. You can register for the webinars. You can register for really any opportunities that we have to connect in person or virtually to take advantage of some of those benefits. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a one-on-one mentorship program that we are working on revamping. But if you're ready to do that now, you can find a mentor. You have to register yourself as a mentee. There's a couple different questions that'll ask you, like, what are your interests? What type of person do you want to connect with? Do you want someone near where you live if you wanted to meet in person? And really some of the different ways that you are comfortable connecting with someone, either virtually, in person, by the phone, all the different ways. So you'll select that, and then you will go search the mentor database, ask to be connected, and then that mentor will either accept, or the word is reject, but it just means that they probably do not have time to take on a mentee at this moment. But if you ever run into issues as you search those databases, please feel free to reach out to Alyssa or myself. I know sometimes it can be a little clunky on the one-on-one side. So if you have issues, or if a mentor or mentee isn't getting back to you, I'm happy to reach out directly and make a connection by email. Because the messaging all goes through the Engage platform, and sometimes people don't see those messages quite as often. All right. So as we kind of end our presentation and information session for you today, we'd love to hear if you have any questions or if there's anything we can ask or any feedback or any suggestions to make what we're doing different or better, or adding something new to really enhance keeping that Accelerate feeling going. If you do drop it in the chat, we can give it a minute or two. Or if you have a success story, we'd love to hear that too. We'd love to hear that.
I also want to mention, Jenny, this is our first time Jenny and I have live streamed. So we were nervous. We think it's gone well. If you guys have noticed anything, let us know. It's a new platform for us. So we're
Yes.
excited about making this more accessible to everyone on the social platforms.
Agreed. And feel free to share. And this will be posted. We'll post this on our YouTube channel, the Women in Trucking YouTube channel, later today. So it will be viewable and shareable if you'd like to share it with other folks that maybe weren't able to attend today.
I also think, Jenny, while we're waiting, we're getting some comments, which are great, but I don't see any questions yet. But I did want to mention, we are doing the engagement webinars. We do still have our educational webinar series.
Correct.
So the next one in that series is April 29th, and it is Women Who Lead the Road, and it's meeting the 2026 Driver of the Year finalists. Yes. So those are the ones we mentioned. We just celebrated them at Salute. So that is a great opportunity to hear their stories and make some connections.
Yes, I'm excited about this one. These four women, I mean, they're phenomenal. We have Gina and Ingrid on the phone here, and we also have Kelly Lynn and Fabiola are also the other two finalists. So I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more of their story. You know, you can only hear so much when you're in person and, you know, talking at Salute and talking to everybody else. But excited to hear that one. And that is actually being moderated by one of our image team members, Jared Baez. So it'll be a very fun driver-focused webinar to learn a little bit more about everyone's story.
No, for sure. Oh, and since you're mentioning the image team, not our topic today, but if you know any awesome drivers who want to support women in trucking, nominations for the image team are being taken now. So those are due April 17th, which unbelievably is in a week. So if you have any questions, just reach out. You can email jenny@womenintrucking.org if you have any questions about that. You can also email me. Do we have that on the next slide? We do. So membership@womenintrucking.org will go to any of us, or will go to me, but any of us will answer. So that's a great way to connect, because I'm not seeing any live questions. We've shared a lot of information, Jenny. So I know as people think about it, something will come up, and that's a great way to reach out.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, for spending some time with us today. I hope it was beneficial to you and you learned a few different ways that you can connect with other members. And I look forward to seeing and hearing those real-time connections. That's some of my favorite things to hear about. So definitely share those, throw them into the Engage forum, and we keep an eye on those things too, so we can see what everyone's talking about and how else we can support and what other resources we might be able to offer from Women in Trucking. So thank you so much. Thanks, Alyssa. It was great having both of us on here, and I think we got through our first live stream. So.
We survived, and our goal was 30 to 45 minutes, so we did it, ladies.
Did it, ladies.
So much. So we are excited. If you need anything, let us know, but we hope you guys enjoy your days.
Yes. Have a great day. Bye-bye.